Hey, it's the Worth Playboy.
And my Playboys Bunny.
And welcome to our podcast where we discuss pickup, game, relationships, and
Sex.
today's topic is don't ask her where she wants to go.
As in for dinner?
Ever. This as an application really, it's one of my avoid these common dating mistakes.
Yeah.
From the beginning, you want to set the tone. And there are men out there, and man, girls will complain because it's a basic thing you need to know. And they'll be like, so he asked me out, and then he asked me where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
And did I know where it was? I mean, it's like...
Oh, yeah. He asked her out. This happens all the time with our female clients.
Yeah.
He asked me out, and then he essentially, I had to plan the date.
No.
It's terrible.
It's bad dynamics. It's bad for the psychology.
Yeah.
It's just bad. Girls do not like to make decisions. They don't make decisions well. And you want to avoid them having to make any decision whatsoever. There's 15 steps for a man to get a girl out on a date and get her from stranger to in their bed.
Yeah.
For the girl, she has 2 steps for that date. To show up and to look hot.
Yeah.
After that, everything's negotiable. And that's what we try to convey to these guys. Trust me, she doesn't have any money in her pocket.
Yeah.
She doesn't know where you're going, anything. She is along for the ride.
Yeah.
And 99% of the time, they're happy to go.
Yeah.
The less decisions they make or have to. I mean, you can ask a girl, especially one that's not used to it, they just lock up. They don't know.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't want to make any decisions.
Well, and on a first date, when
Yeah.
you don't even know the guy yet, she's like, so am I supposed to go to Chick-fil-A or am I supposed to go to fine dining?
So here's the deal. Let's just talk about first dates.
Yeah, that's
First
a good
dates.
starting point.
That way you can lay down a foundation because the foundation continues.
Yeah.
You need to know where you're going. And, in my system, in my, your complete dating system, you have 2 or 3 spots that you kind of know and you scout. So it's not too loud, too crazy. We recommend drinks, not dinner. There's reasons for that. But you need to know where you're going and have a plan.
Yeah.
And the plan is like they say in the military, plan all the way through the end.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take her here, then I'm going to move her to here, and then I'm going to move her to here, and then I'm going to invite her up, and then I'll have to get her an Uber home because we're trashed. So you plan all the way through. And what it does, especially after you kind of practice it, it allows you to focus in on her and the date.
Yeah.
Because seduction takes focus. And if you're distracted, you're not sure where you're going, you're worried, you're like, shit, I don't know how much the cover is, I don't know what this will cost. That distracts you from the task at hand, which is focusing in on her and moving her, into your bed. Mm-hmm. So when you tell her, she'll say, what are we going to do? She doesn't want to know what you're going to do.
No.
She wants to know how she should dress.
Exactly.
And
that's
so,
what she's really asking.
Yeah, she is not asking. She doesn't want to know what you're going to do. You just go, hey, there's a great little place in my neighborhood. I know the owner. Your little black dress will be fine.
Yeah.
Girls know what a little black dress is.
Yeah.
That's your universal answer if you don't know what to answer.
Exactly.
If you're taking her hiking, just go, you're going to need some sturdy shoes, shorts, and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And water.
Dress for comfort, bring sunblock.
Exactly. I mean, give them an idea. That's all she wants to know.
Yeah.
And then you can go from there. But you need to not ask her where. Just don't ever do it.
Yeah.
Don't ever ask her where she wants to go, what to do, any of that. She goes along for the ride. And there are people that have been married 50 years. And he's never asked her preference on anything.
Yeah.
And she's perfectly happy.
Yeah.
And you'll figure it out over time. I mean, I always would ask, have you ever ate sushi? And they'll tell you. They either hate it, have never done it, not interested. Just you can kind of get an idea from her, what she will like to do.
Yeah.
And if you do end up going for drinks and then she's not a drinker, which you should have discerned, you can always get her a non-alcoholic drink. Does that make sense? I mean, that's...
Yeah, but like you said, this
audible.
applies beyond first dates.
Yeah.
This applies not just to
Yeah.
eating or drinking. This applies to everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna go for a bike ride. Well, where are we gonna go? Don't
worry about it.
come
Put
with
your
me.
helmet on. Let's
Yeah.
go. Yeah. I mean, they don't, and they'll go out the door.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't matter.
No.
It's kind of a shit test too.
Yeah.
To see if you'll answer, and like now you're standing there having a conversation with her.
Yeah.
She doesn't have any better idea than you do.
No, and really, and I think that's something that guys run up against a lot, just in dating and relationships, in that sometimes girls are actually just wanting to argue. So if she's asking the specifics, short of a first date or something where she genuinely just needs to know what she's wearing,
Mm-hmm.
if she's like testing the waters and being like, we're going out to eat, well, which restaurant are we going to? We're going for a bike ride? Well, which trail are we going to go on? You know, that kind of thing is usually just, for whatever reason, things are going a little too smoothly, and she just wants to pick a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why we do that, but girls, and I see this in men also. Men tend to kind of cause their own version of guy drama, but from a female standpoint, sometimes the shit test is genuinely like trying to poke the bear a little bit.
Yeah, and I think.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I think that's where guys. Well, and we're not going to go off on a tangent on shit testing, where they a girl asks a question and pokes a. It's just it goes downhill. Does that make sense? You know, there's a lot of guys that don't like being questioned, or
no, guys hate being questioned.
Yeah, or they answer, and like you said, she's looking for a fight. She's like, "Well, I don't want to go there."
Well, and maybe that should be the primary point of this thing, is that...
Don't answer.
What?
Don't answer.
Well, if you from the beginning of your relationship, if you are the decisive one, if you're the one who's making the plans and carrying them out, then she doesn't generally ask many questions, and she doesn't then ruin both of your days, because guys don't like to be questioned. But if you start the relationship off from a place of, well, where would you like to go, then you're setting yourself up to just be pissed off all the time.
That's a good point. Well, and there's no time that you should be asking, you know, well, what do you want to do? It's just not good frame.
Yeah.
You know, girls don't want to make decisions. They want to see what you're made of, and they don't really care. You know, most of the time, I don't. Only when you like come back around, like after you've been married for 3 years, they'll be like, you know, I didn't really want to go there on my first date anymore. You know, I mean, you'll hear some sniping, but generally, girls, they're filling out the guy, not the activity.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I don't know. It really does come down to the people, but I wouldn't worry about her opinion too much in the beginning, especially first dates.
But this goes beyond first date. I mean, this is all encompassing.
Yeah.
It starts on the first date, but
What would you say? It sets the tone.
It sets the entire tone for the relationship, however long that lasts, and it's just bad. If she wants to do something specific, she will ask you. She will let you know. She won't beat around the bush. She'll just say, hey, do you mind if, like, this weekend there's something at the Botanical Gardens that I really wanted to attend, or, you know, I wanted to check out. Do you mind if we go? And if you don't want to go, you say, why don't you invite Marcy instead? I think that would be a lot more fun. I think you'd have a lot more fun with her than me.
Yeah.
You know, something like that.
Yeah, it's like what we say, like early frame announcement.
Yeah.
She gets an idea that you pretty much like to call a shot. And there's some guys, they're just not going to do anything they don't want to do.
No.
I mean, and the idea of like, for a lot of these guys to go to the Botanical Gardens, they would rather pour gasoline on themselves.
That was just...
But it's an example.
Yeah.
I mean, you take some of these guys and the idea of doing something like they would rather pour gasoline on themselves and throw a match than spend the day, you know, at a garden.
Right.
They just aren't. And girls, you think will know better.
Yeah.
Jimmy doesn't want to go to the account. Well, I want him to go for me.
Uh-huh.
I want him to go because I want him to go.
Yeah.
And he's like, He's actually looking for the gas can.
But literally, if you just never from the very first date and continue through the relationship, not to weaken yourself by asking what she wants to do, where she wants to go, what she wants to eat, then you set yourself up for both of you being happier and more satisfied in the relationship, whether it's a short-term thing or whether it lasts a lifetime.
Bunny has a good point. A lot of problems that normal guys have, once you learn game, they kind of go away.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get the frame battles, you don't get the shit testing, because you pretty much destroy them from the beginning, and the girl's happier. You know, she knows.
And even if you started out, if you're in a relationship and you've been in a relationship for a while and you've kind of started out on the wrong foot as far as we're concerned, you can correct that by implementing game now. You really can add game to your, it's going to be rocky at first. She's not going to know what the fuck's going on, but it will actually turn her on and make her adore you more. So it actually benefits everyone, even if you implement it late in the game, late in your relationship.
Guys have turned around multi-decade marriages
that are in the shitter.
By applying game.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first time, both he and her are happy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, these things are universal. They do not stop. They're not just to pick up girls. They're not just to have sex with a lot of women. They can be applied to any woman in your vicinity.
Yeah, they really can. And that's the bottom line. So if you like this podcast, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and tell us your favorite tips and tactics for, making sure that you're doing what you want to do, and you're not asking her opinion or your take or how you're dealing with it when she's trying to challenge you. We want to hear your winning stories. We want to hear your challenges. And if you need any of the things that we discussed in this podcast, just check that description box down below because all the links are there. Bye!